Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. We have been talking NBA Conference Finals, covering the Mavericks and Timberwolves in segment 1, and then Pacers and Celtics in segment 2. As I mentioned before the break, we're moving on to that NCAA $2.8 billion settlement. We have been talking about this, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I think that we've been talking about this for quite some time. So let me just go ahead and click on the correct things. As always, still working on the correct things.
Making those adjustments.
Making the donuts. Showing my age. Time to make the donuts. There is a long-standing tension within major college athletic conferences regarding the possibility of breaking away from the NCAA and establishing a new super league with its governing structure. This tension highlights the significant implications such a move would have, not only on the financial and competitive stability of the involved institutions, but also on cherished events like the NCAA basketball tournament, which relies on a diverse mix of powerhouse teams and underdog Cinderellas to create its signature March Madness excitement. However, the narrative takes a turn with the recent development of a settlement in the Federal House versus NCAA case, stemming from the NCAA's decision to permit athletes to profit from their name, image, and likeness, NIL. The settlement, amounting to a substantial $2.8 billion, aims to compensate athletes who were previously denied the opportunity to benefit from their NIL. While this settlement represents a significant financial commitment, it also raises questions about its broader implication for the future of college athletics. A key aspect of the settlement is its distribution of payments, which places a substantial burden on both the NCAA central organization and smaller conferences, while the power leagues such as ACC, Big Ten, etc., shoulder a portion of the cost. This distribution has sparked debate and contention with smaller conferences, arguing that the power leagues should bear a more significant share of the financial responsibility, given that it is primarily their athletes who will benefit from the payouts. Despite the financial relief provided by the settlement, uncertainties loom over the long-term viability of the NCAA and the stability of college athletics as a whole. There is the interdependence between them within the NCAA framework. It also raises concerns about the potential for future legal challenges and the need for colleges to adapt to a shifting landscape where athlete compensation becomes a significant factor in the economic equation. Overall, while the settlement may offer temporary respite, it underscores the underlying tensions and complexities within the collegiate sports landscape, leaving the future trajectory of college athletics uncertain. So, Tate, we've been talking about this over a few shows, a few segments. We've got pictures going next to us in the slideshow with basketball. So let's talk about March Madness, and what are your thoughts on this settlement specifically in regards to March Madness?
Okay. I think this is going to save March Madness, and here's the reason why. I remember when I was younger, March Madness was a huge thing, and March Madness right now is still a big deal. But one of the big things about watching March Madness this year, the excitement was actually the women's March Madness. Caitlin Clark, Reese, LSU, watching South Carolina come on and win it all. The reason why, the women's March Madness outdrew the men. It was the biggest women's March Madness ever. But I look at this whole settlement as a big injection into March Madness and how it's going to improve March Madness. Before, the world of college basketball was about the one and dones. They come in, they play their required 1 year, and then they're off to the NFL, to the NBA. This whole settlement changes this, Sarah. The reason why it's going to change things is because of the fact that basketball players and teams are already starting to make a shift, a dramatic shift to they want that true team who's been playing together for an extended period of time, knowing how to play. Hence the reason you look at Calipari leaving Kentucky. You look at some of the teams that are starting to win in March Madness. It's no longer the team that has the big superstar that just came in for that 1 year and moving on. These teams are looking around and they're saying, hey, they can make name, image, and likeness money. They can get paid at the collegiate level now. They don't have to go to the NBA and sign a two-way contract or wonder, are they good enough to make it to the NBA? They can go, they can develop, they can take a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, might I even say 5 years, develop their skills, and then move on to the NBA. This settlement makes it so that the NFL gets better. I think the NBA is going to get better because there's going to be more qualified players who have stayed longer in college and have been developed at a level that they're ready for the NBA and the NFL. But what it does for March Madness is now you get to see a player as a rookie, and you may not have known this player, but next year you're like, I cannot wait for this guy to come back. He's coming back next year, and he comes back. He's even better. He's a little bit better. By year 3, now they're household names. That's what's going to happen in March Madness, is now that these players are able to make an income, are able to get endorsements and name, image, and likeness, they don't have to rush and get out to go to the pros. So because they're pros now. Now when professional players are players who make money playing a sport. Mm-hmm. Newsflash. These players are getting paid to play sports now. There's a different league. The big league is the NBA or the NFL. But the minor league professional players are the NCAA players, and I could definitely see a world now where a player doesn't have to rush off. There's players that are expected to be one and dones, and they came in. Let's say a Bronny James, who had a health issue, who didn't really have a big rookie year, but he has to hurry and go into the NFL or into the NBA to get ready for to start making money. Now you have a situation where these guys can get better, build their name, build their brand in college, and the NCAA March Madness is going to benefit from this. So that's the reason why I think this is going to be a big deal.
You know, you made a point earlier that kind of resonated with me when you said, you know, they don't have to just do 1 year. You can look forward to seeing them next year in March Madness, maybe the year after that in March Madness. And I think it makes the drafts a lot more interesting for the average
absolutely.
fan, because now you're like, you know what? I know this person. I've watched them play for 2, 3, 4 years. I know about their abilities. Sometimes I feel like in the draft, we have exciting new players, but we don't always know that much about them because we haven't seen much from them.
Yeah, look at like Caitlin Clark. I didn't know who Caitlin Clark was her first year. Last year, you heard a little bit about her. You heard a little bit about Reese. That third year coming back, and it's just kind of like, this is the big year. And I mean, she's blown up, and you couldn't wait to see how well she's going to do. Well, it's going to happen that way on the men's as well, where they're going to be playing, you're going to learn about them their rookie year, you're going to see them break out their sophomore year, and then you can't wait. Not only that, year, 2 years, now you're going to know these names. Can't wait to see them in the NBA draft. Can't wait to see how well they're going to play in the NBA or in the NFL. There's a lot more players that are not going to rush before they're ready to go, because that's the number one thing that happens is you look around and it's just like this guy, he's a G League player, he needs more time, he's playing, now it's like, no, these guys are going to get prepared for the NBA by being at Duke and North Carolina and NC State, Michigan. These guys are going to develop and get better and better, and which means March Madness is going to be must see. I could see a world where the men's and women's March Madness grow massively, which then means more money, more viewerships for players, and it makes a big difference as these players are playing longer and longer. As they're more, you look around and you see players. I remember watching Patrick Ewing play at Georgetown and watching Michael Jordan play at North Carolina, and then next year play at North Carolina, and just get better and better. These guys didn't go right into the NBA. LeBron went right into the NBA, but some of these guys, they developed in college. Dean Smith working with Michael Jordan, John Thompson working with Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning. That's going to happen again, and it makes March Madness a much better product.
Oh, I'm excited to see how this develops and watching players develop as we move forward. So we are going to switch away from sports when we come back after this next break of the episode. We'll be talking about Demi Moore and doing a nude scene at the age of 61. So stay tuned. You are watching the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we will be right back.